Hello, welcome to another special Sudoku solve video. Today I am continuing the Sudokuvania puzzle. There hasn't been a new update yet, so we can just go on without refilling in every digit. What I've planned for today is the boss puzzle, Sky Skitter by SkepticalMario. It's the Battleman's boss puzzle. I have tried this puzzle before, I've tried recording it before, and I did not succeed. So I spent some time sort of off camera, looking at the puzzle and seeing, how it works and what I'm supposed to do. I got, I think, halfway through, and then I said, okay, I'm ready to try and record it again. Uh, the original recording I did was like 1.5 hours, and I got, I think it was like 5 digits in, which is not a good score. So here I am trying it again. I am not that familiar with skyscraper puzzles, so I think that's also where it kind of came from. You still feel a little bit lost after your brief attempt to navigate the castle's library. That's what we did after the factory. Climbing atop the walls of the castle was a good idea. If nothing else, you can get some fresh air. Aha! You think you can see some scry beeper clues off in the distance. A loud buzzing gets your attention and a gigantic fly alights on the wall in front of you. Exploring will have to wait. Sudoku. Place digits from 1 to 9 into each cell without repeating in a row, column, or 3x3 box. Skyscraper. Digits outside the grid are skyscraper clues and indicate the number of cells in the adjacent row or column seen by the clue. Digits seen by the clue block sight of any subsequent smaller digits in the row or column. Okay. Arrows, digits on an arrow sum to the digits in the attached circle, and crop key black dots separate digits where one is double the other. Not all such relationships are marked. So this is where we begin, and immediately I think I am going to think about the skyscraper clue, because on this arrow, this being a 3-cell arrow, the minimum it can sum to is 6. So 6, 7, 8, 9. Same goes for this one, 6, 7, 8, or 9. Then what I did was see that, the digits that can be on here are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and I have this horrific pencil mark, but it is just for a moment. So the point there being is there's a 9 somewhere in this row, and the 2 clue always sees that 9. So the only other digit it's allowed to see is this one, the first one. So this one has to be bigger than the other two. So it cannot be a 1 or a 2. And it cannot be a 5 because it's on a black dot. And that works exactly the same for this row. So this is also 3, 4, or 6. And I'm going to remove this pencil mark because it looks horrible. So then what I found was there is a 9 somewhere in this row. It's not there because then it would only see that 9. So it is somewhere here, right? If that's 6, it can have 5 digits between it and the 9 because the numbers 1 through 5. That's the digits this can hide. So the 9 can be at best there. So it's in one of those. Now, if we have the 9, let's say here, or let's say here, where is the 8 going to be? If it's left of the 9, this 2 clue will see this digit, and it'll see the 9. It'll see the 8 and then the 9. So that's not true. So from this side, if we put the 8, let's say here, we have a problem because it'll see this digit, the 8, and then the 9. So this is the only place 8 can go. So that's an 8. Okay. Now what I think is relevant is this. If this is a 3, right? I'm going to fill that in for a second. Then this is 1 and 2 because that's the only digits they can hide, which would make that a 6, but then this would also be a 6. So that's not possible. This cannot be, so this cannot be a 3. So it's a 4 or 6. This cannot be a 3 either because of the same system. This doesn't have to be an 8 because that's a 3, not a 2. So The one that is 6 is 9, so one of those is a 9. So if we think about the places we could put the 9, I said you can have at most 5 between them. So the 9 can be at best there. But then one of those is a 9, because the one that has 6 has a 9. So this or this is a 9, and then again, this or this is a 9. So I'm going to mark those blue for a second. Let's think. Then one of those has 3 added to it, because the one that has 6 has 3 with it. So, okay, where are you going to put 1 in this column? Because, okay, so these 5 digits, when added together, are a minimum of 15. So these summed also have to have a minimum of 15. Let's say we put a 1 there. Then the minimum these digits can be is 5, 10 is 20. So then those two added would be 20, and that's not possible. So the 1 cannot be there or there. It cannot be there because that cannot be a 2, so that's a 1. So could we have a 2 there? Then this couldn't be 6 because 6 goes with 1, 2. So that's then a 4 with 1 and 3. And then we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the minimum these digits are 5 and 6. Yeah. Okay, so that's not possible either. So the 2 cannot be there or there. So it goes with the 4. So it's a 3, 2 pair. And one of those is a 3. Then we have this pair there. Now, what do I think? I got further than this, but I still have to remember. I did it. Yeah, I did it yesterday mainly, and then a bit today. But okay. So the one that has 6. If we forget about these clues for a second, and we just look at the one that has 6. Because, right, whichever one of these is 9, it's going to go with the 6. So the one that, because if this is 9, then that's 9. If that's 9, then that's 9. So one of those is going to be here, and the one that is there goes with a 6. So if that's the case, then we have the numbers 1 through 5 here, and that's then a 1, 2 pair. But then I think the main point is that one of those is actually 9. And whichever one it is, I'm going to pick this one to explain what I think. And this is 5, 6, 7, and 8 in some way. It cannot be 8 because 8 would go with 2 digits added to an 8 is minimum 10. So that's not true. If this is 5, then this is 6, 7, 8, so then this is a 9. If this is 6, then this is 5, 7, or 8, but then that's still a 9. If that's 7, then this is 1, 1, and that's a 9. So, and this works the same up here, right? Because if that's a 9, we have that same quadruple there. So one of those is going to be a 9. I'm going to mark that blue as well. So what's that going to mean? Where are you putting? There was a reason, I think, to remember why one of those had to be 6 and the other one couldn't be. Well, okay, so if that is 4, then it's either, and it can be 1, 2, 3 because it has to be less than 4. If that's 6, that's 1, 2. So this is always 1, 2, or 3. Okay. Whichever. So, okay, so 9 in this column. It cannot be in one of those. It could be in there. Oh no, it couldn't. It couldn't be because one of those is a 9. So 9, it cannot be on an arrow, so 9 is in one of those. And if it's in one of those two, it'll block the skyscraper clue, so that's not true. So that has to be a 9. And then we unwind all the 9s. So that cannot be a 9, so that's a 9. So that is a 9. So that is a 9. So we have this. Then that means that this is a 6 because it has 5 digits between. So that's not that. That's 3, 4, 5. And that has to be a 9. So that cannot be a 9. And that's a 4. So that cannot be a 6. And that's the 2 and the 3. Now, okay. This we looked at a bit because that's 5, 6, 7, 8. And this is then 1, 2, 3. Which, okay, sure. Well, okay, so this needs a 1. One of those has to be a 1. Otherwise it's 2, 3, 4, and I would put a 9 there, and that's not true. So that cannot be a 1. So that means, okay, no, I'm going to look at this first because that cannot be an 8. What is the highest this can be? If this is 5, we can have a 1, 3 pair. But there can never be a 4 on there anymore. So this is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This can only, if this is a 3, and then that has to be a 1, but that's then a 5, putting a 6 there, and that's not possible. So this could never be a 3. Well, okay, so where are you going to put 7? That has to be a 7. This cannot be an 8. This cannot be a 7. So the minimum this can be is 6. The maximum this can be is 6 because it's these 7, 8, and 9. So that could be a 3, and then that could be a 1, 2 pair. 1, 2. So this is either 5 or 6. Could this be double 1? I think I've, by the way, I think I've reached the point where I was. I had this pencil mark, and that's where I left it. So the logic I'm doing now is what I've worked up to. This took me a genuine. I think I've spent more than 2 hours on it. Yeah, I have spent more than 2 hours on it. That cannot be a 2 because of this. If this is double 1, and this is 3 and 2, and that makes minimum 10, so that's not possible. So that could never be 5, so it has to be 6. This couldn't be 5 anyway. It couldn't be 4 then, so it's a 3. But 3 goes with, 1, 2, I guess. So what are we doing now? One of those has to be a 1, otherwise these would both be 1. So what does this mean? These digits together are a minimum of 10 because it's 4 different digits. So this has to be a minimum of 5. So it's 5, 6, 7, or 8. If it's 5, one of them has to be 2, 3, and that cannot be 2, 3, or that cannot be 2, 3. So that's not true. So what are we looking at now? So this is then 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 5, 7, 8, 9. If this is 5, this cannot be 5. No, that probably cannot be 5 either. No, because there's no way to make 5 on this arrow. If that's, oh, that cannot be 9 because of Sudoku. One of those is 9 because of Sudoku. So that's not a 9, but that's okay. One of those is a 6. This needs to see 3 digits. But that's doable if that's a 6 even, because then this is just lower than a 6. Which then it will be 1 or 2, but that's fine. The minimum this is 3, 4, but it's 3, 4, or 5. Let's see. So okay, this is where we think, and not just to remember. I immediately go more quiet, but that's understandable, I guess. If that's a 3, we know that's a 5 and a 1. Okay, so this digit, where is it going to go within this box? Because it's not going on its own arrow. It's not going there, so it's going in one of those. Yeah, so that's not an 8. I pencil marked the 8 there, but that I wanted to say that's not an 8. I'm gonna actually somewhat note that if I can. This is 6 or 7 then. If it's 6, it's 1, 5, and 2, 4. And this will be 1, 5, making that a 3. And that would be 2, 4, making that a 1. Actually, okay. If that's a 6, right? And this is 1, 5, that's 2, 4. And this would create a 1, 2, 4 pair. So that would be 5 then. That would be 1, creating a 3 and a 2. This can never be 1. I think that's the point. Okay, so I'm gonna show. Then this will be 1, 5. That will be 2, 4, because that's the only 2 ways of making 6. And this 2 makes that 1, 5. Then we have a 1, 2, 4 triple, so that's not 1. So that is 1. And if that's 1, that's 2, and that's 3, and then we have the same problem again. I actually want to go back. So that's not 6, that's 7. So one of those is 7. So that's not a 7. This digit has to be... No, there's nothing that has to be higher or lower. It can see 3 digits, so 2 more from this side. But that's a lot of options, I think. How do you make 7? It is 1, 6, 2, 5, or 3, 4. It's not 2, 5. It is 1, 6, or 3, 4. And this is 2, 5, or 1, 6. Let's see, neither of those is 6. Actually, that can now not be a 7. So that's 5 or 6. Yeah, well, double 1 wasn't doable anyway. But What that does is it puts 7 or 8 in one of those three because it can go nowhere else in a row. There's a 7, 8 there. So what's the place a 7 and 8 can go in this column? It can go there or there. So there must be a 7, 8 pair. So it's not 5 or 6. And that's well, okay, so that's the only place. This is then the only place 7 can go because it cannot go there, it cannot go there. So that's the only place 7 can go. Okay. So that's then an 8 because that's the only place 8 can go. This 7 makes that an 8. So that makes that 1, 3 with a 2. So one of those is an 8. A lot of stuff to pay attention to. So this 3 clue doesn't see that one, it sees this. But that is an 8 because it's the only place 8 can go within the row. So it sees that, it sees this, it sees that, and it sees that. So it's fine. But that has itself determined. That could still be a 3 with a 5 and a 1. That is an interesting 1-2 pair, though. I didn't even spot. So that's a 1 or a 2. That's not a 1. So this is 5 or 6. So that's 1 or 2. Yeah, this could be 1, 6, and that could be 2, 5, or we could have a 3, 4 here. That works either way, I think. Repositioning. This is a 1, 2, 4 triple. So that sees the 1 and the 4. Oh. So that is a... Oh, I'm sorry, I removed the pencil mark. That is a 1, 2, 4 triple, so that's not a 1 or a 4. So it is a 3 with a 4 there. So that's now a 1. Well, that could... Well, that cannot be a 1 then, because then you can never make 9. So 2 and with 6. So we have a 2 there, we have a 1 there, we have a 2 there. So that's a 1, that's a 4. Okay. Is there more that I can do? Well, yeah, okay. There is, but there's always more you can do. This is a 6. I meant more sort of easy kind of things. Just fill in some digits. One of those is a 6, so that's a 3, 6 pair. And this is a... What am I missing? 1, 2, 3. I'm missing 4 and 5. That's 4 sees that, so that's that and then that. This now sees 6, 7, and 9. So I'm missing 1, 2, and 3 in this column. That cannot be a 2. How is that going to work? No, I'm not missing 1, 2, and 3. That's why. I'm missing 1, 2, and 8. And I think that has to be an 8. Because if it's not, right, if this is an 8, it only sees 2 digits. That what doesn't work. If if this is not an 8, right, then this is a 1, 2 pair, and it sees way too many digits. So that has to be an 8. And now these last two aren't determined by skyscrapers. Oh, well, that 2 sees that, so that's a 1. That's a 2. This 8 sees that, so that's not an 8. if it's 7, how are you going to make 7? You cannot use 1, 6. You cannot use 3, 4. It would have to be 2, 5. It would have to be 2, 5. But 2, 5 does seem possible to me. Sure. Ones somehow. That's a 1. That's okay. Sure. Yeah, then you have 1 in one of those and 1 in one of those. That's logical. That's a 2. Then you have the last 2. One of those being a 2. Could 2 be not on this arrow? If 2 is there, then the minimum we have is, we already have 1, 2, 3, 4 used up. So then we have 5 and 6 as a minimum left over, and that would make 11. So that cannot be true, so that's a 2. And then this is 5 or 7. And that puts a 2 there, a 1 there, puts a 3 there and a 1 there. So what can you do? Not much. That 1 puts a 1 there, and that's all the 1s, that's all the 2s. This 3 makes that not a 3. Is it the case that one of those has to be 3? It's either 3, 4 or 3, 5, so that's the 3. And then we have most 3s done, but not quite. I'm very happy I did this puzzle in advance because, I don't know, I was staring at the puzzle, and I mean, if you do Sudoku, that's kind of part of it, I guess. And it's also, it's not that I do not enjoy that or anything. It's not meant as a negative thing. It's just, I don't like putting that in a video, to make that a video, because I want to explain my thoughts, and sometimes I can see myself looping around in the same thought. I do that in videos as well sometimes, but sometimes it's oh well, that's a 7. That's a 5. What am I missing here? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 3 and 5. Oh, I meant this one, 3 and 5. What am I doing? 3 and 5. Yeah. And this is then 3, 5, or 6. But that isn't resolved yet. Okay, one of those is a 3. So one of those is a 3. What else? Let's look at 5s. It gives us a 5, 8. Well, I can make all these pairs. 5, 8. And I have 1, 2, 3. I'm missing 4 and 9. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Yeah. Okay. I don't know how I am going to resolve that, though. One, two, three, four, 5. Yeah, that could be a 7. If that's a 7, that is an 8. And that's a 5, so that's a 5. Okay. That doesn't work, right? Because if that's a 7, that's a 5. So then 5 in this column goes there. But then that is an 8. And that's 5, 3. So that cannot be a 7, so it's a 9. So that's a 7. So that's a 7. a 6. That's just not 9. The 9 in this box goes there. Is that all the 9s? No, I'm missing the last one. 9 and 4. So that's not 7. That's not 9. I hear a big helicopter flying by. Interesting. Then that's a 4-7 pair. I don't know if the microphone is even picking that up. I hope it doesn't, but things are shaking. Cool. You don't see that every day. Or here, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 or 5. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6. And this is 5 or 8 as well. So then that's a 5. That's a 3. That's a 5. And that's a 4. So that's 7. Now this is a 6. This is going to end with a skyscraper. I am going to have to do some more skyscraper logic. I think so. Because, right. No, this could be 7 or 8. It could be 8. No, it cannot be. Okay, I'm gonna just go by every. Okay, so that's an 8. That's a 5. And where does 8 go in this box? 8 goes there. 6 goes there. Then I'm missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm missing 7. So that's a 7 and a 4. That's an 8. So that's a 8 and a 5. It's a 5. This 4 puts a 4 there and a 5 there. And we have a 5 and a 3, a 3 and a 6. And I'm missing a 4 and a 3. You have defeated the giant fly. You examine the castle grounds from this high vantage point and make note of several scribe-peeper clues elsewhere in the castle. Perhaps one of them will yield some vital insight. You remain determined to plumb the depths of the castle for its Sudoku secrets. Scribe-peeper clues around the castle have been revealed. Enter a 2 into this cell. Puzzles boss cell in Sudokuvania. Okay, well let's see then. 2? Oh, that removes a lot of clues. I have already used this though. I don't see this having anything. 4. Okay. Why is this highlighted? 7 and then 9? Maybe to confirm that you're right or anything. That says 2. I don't think that's relevant yet. But let's see. If that's a 2, then none of those are 2. So one of those is a 2. So that's not a 2. So that is a 2. It gives me a 5-9 pair. And that makes that a 1, that a 2. Okay. The 1 gives me a 1 there. That doesn't help me as much as I thought it would. Maybe hoped is a better word, but yeah, the case is the case. This has to see 6 digits. It sees this one, this one, this one, this one. and this one, and then wherever the 9 goes, which is not there. And this sees there's 1, probably that one, and then that. I have to remember everything a bit as well, so that makes it tougher. This is again 5, 7, or 9 together with this. It has to do more than that, doesn't it? I feel like I need to resolve these two as well to keep going. 3s, one of those is a 3. One of those is a 3, I said. Then what else? 5. What have I placed now? This 2 I've placed this 1 and this 2. And this one. Oh, I can place this digit. It is a 3. Okay. I have. Well, one of those is a 7. I know that. And this is 5, 8, or 9. But that doesn't help me. This being a 2 doesn't. I cannot see anything by that, right? Because that could just be an 8, and then everything will be fine. No, I don't think that's it. I need to do more logic within this. So one of those is 7 and a low digit. The low digit isn't 3, so it's 1, 2, or 4. It's not 1, it's 2, 3, or 4. It's 2 or 4. But yeah, okay. Is there why do I have? Oh, so that's a 6. So that's a 6. And then what am I missing? Another. Where does 4 go? 4 can only go there. And this has to be a 3 by my pencil marks. And this is 2, 7. Oh, 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 oh. 2 and 7. And that's a 7. That's a 9. That's a 5. I'm hoping I'm doing this right. I'm so hoping. This is then 2. This is again 5, 7, or 9. Well, 5 or 7, I guess. Since the 9's there. Really? Really? This is okay. Less result than I thought it would be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 and 6. I everything around it is messing with my scanning as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm pretty sure. Can I resolve that somehow? 5, 6. I don't see a way to resolve that, so I'm not going to try. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9. I don't see a way to resolve those digits. Okay, so something else then. 3s. That's the only place 3 can go. So I place a 3 there. Is that not a 3? I place all the 3s in that grid. All the 2s in that grid. Almost all the 1s. Just need to place one more 4. But one of those is 4. So So this is 4, 5, or 7. I've used all the scry peepers. What am I missing in this box? It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, and 9. And this specifically cannot be an 8. So, what does that mean? This grid extends to here, so that this is one box. This is a box. And that's a box, but that doesn't... Am I not looking far enough ahead? I think I am. I think I am. I think so. I think there's more to resolve within this, because I've used all the clues and I don't think there's going to be any more clues revealed to me. I don't think it's time for the library yet, but this is not anything to be done. I need more to see more in order to do anything with this. What am I missing then? The 5-9 pair, 5-7-9, 4-7-5. Okay, I'm gonna cross all the digits again. 1 is in one of those or one of those. 2 I've done. 3 I've nearly done. No, 3 I have done. This is messing with me. 4 is locked within this formation. 5. Oh, I need a lot of 5s. But it doesn't matter because there's an 8 in front of it. So that's okay. 6s. 6 there, 6 there. 7s. Well, just that that's not a 7. 5 in one of those. 6 in one of those. 8 in one of those, and then 9 in one of those. Yeah, so that's locked as it is. So we have to look at something else then. Is it this, maybe? No, this has to be locked, right? This has to be just stuck how it is. Yeah, and I don't think I can use this for this 3 clue. This 2 clue looks out of nothing as well. So I think it is this 4. Well, okay. That just means that this cannot be a 9. Neither. Okay, so where does the 9 go? It doesn't go in these first 3. It cannot go there. So 9 is in one of those 3. And 8 then. 8? 8 could be here, but then we would need... two smaller digits, and then 9 can be anywhere. I don't think... Maybe I need to think more about this, but I'm not... That has to be a 4, no? Yes, that has to be a 4, I just missed it when fitting it in. Okay. neither can be, if this is high, it is 7. If it's low, it is 1. So if that's 7, that's a 1 or a 2. And if that's high, if that's low, that's a 6. And this cannot then that's a 6. This is 1, 2, or 6. It cannot be a 2, so it's 1 or 6. There's no Scrypeeper there. I'm not sure if that's what I meant to do. Eight can be at best there. Well, this now cannot be a 7, I guess. Because if it's 7, it can only see 8 and 9. So this is now not 6, not 7, not 8, not 9, not 1 or 2 or 3. So it is 4, 5. It is 4 or 5. One of those is 4. Well, okay. If that is 4, then one of those is 4, then that's a 4. If that's 5, and still one of those is 5, then that is a 5. Oh, this is 9 and 5 anyway. Okay, so that's just because I forgot I didn't fit it back in fully. I think that's why that's not there. Now, why could you not be 5 possibly, or some variation? If it's 5, it has to see the most of the digits. And this is 6 or 9. And that would be 7 or 8. Well, if that's 5, that has to be 6 or 9. If it's 9, I think we have a problem, because then you see 5 and 7 or 8. Oh no, I mean if that's 6, we have a problem. If that's 5, then and that's 6, then this 7 or 8, the 9 comes to the left of it. So between the 5 and the 9, you don't have 6, you don't have 7 or 8, so you only have 8 between. So that doesn't work. So if this is 5, then that's 9, and that's still 7 or 8. Then we have a 7-8 pair in that case. No, I think I'm looking too far at it again. If that's 3, that's an 8-9 pair. So what can this be? Because it could be a second digit, so it couldn't be 7, because then you see, oh no, it could be 7. It couldn't be 8 or 9, but that could possibly be 7. No, that's not restrictive enough. But that does mean that one of those is 9, because of this 9 and this 9. So one of those two is 9. I don't know if that's where I'm supposed to be looking as well. Okay, at this point I am just confused as to where I am meant to go. I do want to find another boss though. But I don't even know where. I'm hoping to find another boss. If I don't, I don't, but I think that's okay. Two. One of those is a two. Okay. Okay. It has to be with this, right? It just has to be. Because this 2 and 3 are low digits being, sort of masked away. And this being minimum 4, that means that you need in order 3 of the digits 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So even if that's 4, I don't think, if that's then 5, because we looked at it, if it's 5, it cannot be 5, it's 4, and this is 5, then you need this as a 7, 8, or 9, as a 7 or an 8. No. If it's 4, can that be... Why if this was 5, it couldn't be 6, so it would have to be 9. If this is 4, then that's 5. It still doesn't do anything, I don't think. If this is 7, that's 1. If this is 7, and that's 7. And then this will be a 7, 9 pair. That will be a 3. So if this is 7, that's a 3. If this is 1, that would be a 6. This is 1, that would be a 1. I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to find anything. This might be one of those points where I look at it for a bit and then come back later, but I do want to make another deduction. And if I don't, I don't. That's part of its nature. Because I don't think I can keep up. If this is 8, then this has to be between... If this is 8, then this has to be between 4 and 8. So this is then 5, 6, or 7. But I don't see an issue. It could be any of those numbers. Well, no, not 7. Because if it's 7, then you cannot place a 7 there. Better said 7 isn't one of those, so this is a 7, 9 pair. Is that it? Is that it? And this is the only place 3 can go in this column. So that's a 4 or 5. It gives me a 4, 5 pair here. Okay, this gives me a lot of hope. maybe it's a bit too early for that, but I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like it. Um, okay. Maybe yeah, it was a bit early, but that's okay. 7 9. It's a high digit. Unsure, uncertain. Oh, that 3. That 3 does give me that 4. And that does absolutely nothing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, no, let's do those two. I'm missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. 1 and 3. There's a 1, 3, and a 1, 3. That's a deadly pattern. So there must be more clues being revealed in this grid. That's probably also why it has not been illuminated fully yet. Well, okay. Okay. Then it doesn't matter what I do here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 4, 5, and 7. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6. This 4 makes that not a 4, that not a 4, that not a 5, that not a 5. And we have everything pencil mark now. And it's absolutely stuck. So there has to be more that's being revealed there. Because of this. That will never be resolved. The skyscraper clue has to probably do more. Because if that's now an 8, right? And I said this had to be 5 or 6 now. Well, okay, no, that doesn't do anything. If that's now a 9, and that's 5 or 6, that's then one of the digits between 4 and that. So one of those is gone, so we have 3 more. Seven. So 9. Well, 9 could never be in one of those two, I guess. So, but what has that done? That makes that an 8, and one of those an 8. One of those is an 8. If I can prove somehow that that's not an 8, that would be useful. So if that's an 8, it has the 9 somewhere back here. And then that would have to be 5 or 6. If it's 5, then that's a 4, obviously. If that's a 5, then that's a 6. And that's a 9. That's an 8 already, so that's then a 7. One of these does have to be an 8. Is there more digits that could be on the same thing? Either one of those is a 1, which is interesting to me as well. Okay, there's a lot more stuff here. This has been fully pencil marked. If this is a 9, that is an 8, so then that's an 8. And that's 5 or 6. So then that cannot be 5. So we're looking at a scenario where this is a 9. So that's then an 8, so that's an 8. Then this is 5 or 6, so that's a 4. So this is then a 5 or a 6 as well. And that would work. 4 would make that a 5. No, that does seem to work. If that's an 8 in general, an 8, well, if that's an 8, that's an 8. Or, like I said, one of those is an 8. And that's a 9. Well, 9 couldn't be in one of those 3. So if one of those is an 8, then that's a 9. I am missing a part of this. And I feel like it's not even that big of a thing. Maybe it's just somewhere Sudoku related. For example, if that's a 4, that's a 4, that's a 4, something like that. That would put an 8 there. So that would make one of those an 8, and one of those is already an 8. No, I don't think that's relevant. Threes. One of those is 3. Okay. If that's a 6, that's a 1. That's a 7. But that doesn't do what I thought what I kind of hoped. That's a 7, that puts a 7 there. Oh wait, this 7. Wow, okay. Oh, and it reveals, well, no, it doesn't really reveal much more now, does it? But it does give me that. It was something simple, sadly. Okay, but that's fine, you know? As I just said, it's part of it. Well, I don't want to leave it off with just this, because I do feel, well, okay, so now that's an 8. And that reveals the boss puzzle as well. And whispers. Does that just mean that these are the same polarity? I think it does. How long have I been recording for? Just a bit more than an hour. I'm gonna fill in some obvious things and then scroll around a bit around the puzzle. And then we'll see. Because the boss puzzle, I think, is the next step. Then I also said that this was now 5 or 6, and then it doesn't matter where the 9 is. Okay, I when looking back, I made a mistake at the end. I put a 7 here, um, but I viewed my recording and I saw the mistake, so I caught it, luckily. Um, no, I am going to leave it here though. I hope you have a nice day and thank you for watching. Kind of a weird ending, but thank you. Have a nice day.